What's going on, beautiful people? Jesse Moon here, and I am joined today or this evening by my beautiful wife. What's your name, babe?
Syndee Moon.
Syndee Moon. And we are hailing to you. Well, I'm at the office right now, so I'm over in Richardson, Texas, and she's at his house over in Frisco, Texas. And tonight we just wanted to come and share some thoughts and answer some questions that some of you may or may not have. But we want to talk about some family, some finances, uh, estate planning, and protecting what matters most to you, which is your legacy. And I believe that's why we all wake up every single day, go to our 9 to 5 jobs, we work, make money, live a happy life, take care of our family, the ones we love. And then when we pass, we want to make sure that we pass on um, something of significance. So, honey, I know this is a topic for you, is you're always talking about a legacy of love. And that can come in many different industries, arenas, and ballparks, but you're actually putting on a Legacy of Love event. You want to tell us about that?
Yes, I'm excited to. This is going to be our agency's first event. It's Legacy of
Woo-hoo.
Love, Awareness, Action, Hope. And as everybody knows, or you may not know, my husband and I are in the life insurance industry. Prior to getting started, though, I was an educator, so I was educating our youth. I taught many different grades. And so I believe in education. I believe empowerment through education. But what I know for a fact is um, education is powerless if it's not applied.
Ooh.
So we are hosting our first Legacy of Love event. It's a cancer awareness event. And typically, you have like these big specific cancer events happening, but I decided to make it all cancer because I believe that, cancer doesn't discriminate just as any illnesses don't, right? It doesn't matter your age, your gender, your beliefs, anything like that. So I wanted to make sure that we have resources and education provided for all people. It's also going to be a fun community event because I want to be able to attract our community, so we can come together, we can learn together, but we can also enjoy, the day. And we're going to have phenomenal speakers. We're going to have a lot of family fun activities. Face painting is going to be provided by our daughter, so I'm excited about that.
Oh yeah.
And all the proceeds are going to be going to a woman that I met from church. She's a beautiful soul. She's been battling cancer and she's on her way through the journey. But as most of you have heard or may have heard, that cancer does come with a lot of expenses. And most people are not prepared for that, for what it looks like on the other side of, coming through it. And so we want to be able to provide a little blessing for her as she begins her journey, cancer free, God willing. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be November 8th. It's going to be at our headquarters. And I'm just really excited about it. Event planning is a lot of work, though. So shout out to all the event planners out there. You guys are rock stars because it definitely takes a village.
1000%. And I'm excited about it because I know, just scrolling social media, I see a lot of people passing away from cancer. And then when you were breaking down the statistics to me, it's kind of mind-boggling that one in every two men will be diagnosed with cancer, one in every three women will be diagnosed with some form of cancer. And it has us. We got 5 boys, and it's like, what can we do now to plan to see if we can beat that statistic? And it all starts with awareness. And I believe the more that we're aware of it, the better we can do and take care of our bodies, our temple, to hopefully avoid it. But we can only educate those that want to be educated. Some people will be like, I'm Superman, I'm Superwoman, that'll never happen to me. And then bam, you get hit with an unexpected medical bill. And I'm tired of seeing GoFundMe accounts come across the timelines because people didn't plan based on lack of awareness. So I think we can solve that, and at least we can help some people just by running this event. So I back you, I support you, and I'm excited for it.
Me too. It's going to be a good time. We have a little team, or we hired a little team to help us. And they're really excited about it as well. And I've connected with a lot of really great business owners. whose family members have also been impacted by cancer. So,
Yeah.
as some people may not know, your sister actually was diagnosed with cancer when she was 4. I've had 3 grandfathers, 2 of whom did pass away from cancer, different forms. One grandfather is still battling cancer, skin cancer. And
Mhm.
so it's touched both of our families. And, your sister was a baby. And so, like I said before, it doesn't discriminate against age, ethnicity, or anything like that. So, definitely a good cause for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move in to talk about some money mindset, babe. I know this is something that you and I both, we've been on this journey of entrepreneurship for about what, 7, 8 years now, and especially the financial industry. But we were on a journey of entrepreneurship a couple years while I was still active duty military in the cryptocurrency space.
Right.
But we understood that, and I think when you and I first got together, I told you, I said, listen, I don't envision a life where I wake up in the morning, I get ready, I go to my 9 to 5, come home, and I'm dog tired. And then you wake up in the morning, you get ready, you go to your 9 to 5, you come home tired, and we give each other the leftovers. And then next thing you know, the kids grow up, they go to college, they go and start their own family. And then you and I are strangers because we never got to spend time with one another at our best. I said, that's not the life I envisioned for us. And that's when
Mhm.
our journey of entrepreneurship really began. And we knew it was going to be tough. We knew there was going to be high or mountains and valleys. But we made the commitment to stick together, support one another, and make a decision and then stick to that decision. And here we are today, and we're able to teach other families, other couples about our journey, and hopefully they can learn from the mistakes we made and the good choices that we made. That way, they can get to that level of success much faster than we did. And I'm excited about this journey, and I wake up every day ready to go. Who can I serve? Who can I educate? Who can I help today? Right. So one thing I want to ask you, honey, is how have your beliefs about money impact our family's financial future? Because obviously our parents couldn't teach us what they didn't know. And that's why a lot of people go without. But how did your beliefs get shaped, um, and how have they changed to help impact our family's future?
Well, I think before when I got started, I mean, obviously, I came from restarting my life with the kids, right? And we came from a very, not wealthy place. And so I had to really start from the ground zero. I tell people all the time, from welfare to wealth, it can be done if you want it to be done. But how my mindset has shifted is that wealth is for everybody. And you are in control of where your life leads, and that's financially. And before, I think I saw it like I wasn't in control before. Therefore, I felt like life was just happening to me. So things were out of reach before. But now, I have a clear understanding of how to build wealth, how to pass on wealth, and, work hard for it. And I think mindset was the ultimate shift. And I believe that's the first place to start is, I had a mentor who used to tell me, how can you ever achieve something that you don't believe that you deserve?
Ooh.
Right. And I thank her for that because that was a real like reflection moment for me. And I had to really dig deep and pray about it and think about like, do I really feel I deserve it? And when I made the decision that yes, this is for me, this is for my children, it was go time. And from then I haven't looked back. So it was exciting. The mindset shift is really what's the most important thing. And that's where a lot of people fail in life in their journey is because they've had, a bad past or they didn't come from a lot and they've had all of these, misconceptions about money that they can't let go of it. And therefore, they never do anything better. They never succeed. They don't build the wealth. And it's nothing but excuses. And man, oh man, sometimes you wish you could shake people out of it, but you can try as much as you can. All you can do the best you can do is educate them, right? So for me, mindset. And for anybody else out there who thinks, man, I'm starting at the bottom, I don't have anything, it can be done. You just have to, first believe that you deserve it and then get to work.
I agree. It's you can't want something for somebody more than they want it for themselves.
Mm.
So, and unfortunately, we're grown up. So think about a baby, a little baby. Uh, a baby is a blank canvas. As adults, something shaped our thinking. Our environment shaped our thinking. Our parents, the people we surround ourselves with, has shaped our thinking throughout the years. And just because we believe something doesn't mean it's true. For example, using certain financial tools, thinking about how money grows a certain way, or thinking money's not for me, or if I make more money, that means I'm taking from somebody else. These different, I guess, philosophies and thought patterns shape who we are and ultimately determine what we get out of life and where we end up in life. And I tell people, just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean it's the right way. I always say, if all the dogs are barking up one tree, doesn't make it the right tree, right? If everybody's using one product, it doesn't make it the right product. But once again, if that's what we're taught through our education system, which I think I don't want to call it a complete scam, but I think it shapes us and molds us to be good employees, being told what to do, good workers, and we're taught that to think, act, and feel a certain way towards things our school system didn't teach us. So when someone used to talk to me about entrepreneurship and, hey, I can show you how to make a 250,000 or 500,000 or even become a millionaire, I said, you're crazy. Get out. It must be a scam. I didn't realize that I had to stinking think in the middle class mindset. And I don't blame anybody else for having the middle class mindset. It's not your fault yet. But once you know better and have the information and you don't act on it, now it is your fault. But once you have the information, and it's now your duty and responsibility to share it with as many people that are willing to listen to it.
I'll
What do
even
you
take
think about the thought process?
I'll even take it a step further, because you and I came from the same system, from the same middle class mindset. But the one thing that I always tell people that you and I did well was we were coachable. We weren't stubborn. We weren't closed off. We were open to hearing and we were open to learning. And I think so many people, they graduate high school, right? For most people, that's where their learning stops. They graduate high school and then that's it for them. They're content. They don't care. They don't want to care about anything else. And it's really a sad thing when people are so ignorant that they just refuse to learn. And man, I really think that's the problem, is that people are just closed-minded to learning. And so, for us, I know that you and I have made the decision, okay, if we were, 30 years old or however old we were when we started learning, and what we were doing so far hadn't gotten us where we wanted to be, something's got to change. So
Right.
you and I heard the message. We understood it. It made sense because it makes complete sense when you pay attention. And then we implemented. And that's the missing piece, is that people aren't ready to implement, whether it be from opportunity side or financial strategy side, right? Because you have to implement both. For people who say, I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck, or I'm tired of struggling, prove it. Like, what are you going to do? Like, I don't want to hear the complaints. Prove it. You're tired of struggling.
What are some ways that they can prove it?
In which aspect? Like opportunity wise?
Yeah. And if somebody says, I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck, what would you say to somebody to say, hey, prove it to me? Prove it to yourself.
I mean, I think I expect what you and I did, right? You and I had all these kids. We have 7 kids. So we had a bunch of kids. We had full-time careers, and I was in grad school at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though all of that was happening and things weren't perfect, like you and I, when we got started, like, there was struggle there, a reason why we were looking for something else. We decided to commit and to continue showing up every single day with that commitment, right? Showing up for ourselves, learning the business, doing the things, that we had to do to get the activity, right? To get the clients. We had to do certain things every single day, whether we were tired, whether we had a good day or not, whether the car broke down with our freaking transmission that blew like $10,000. Like the bills were due. We had a bunch of kids, we had a lot of responsibility, but we committed to the decision to do better for our lives. And so that's what I mean. Follow through. Commit to
Got
something
you.
and follow
Get rid
through.
of the excuses and distractions and find a way.
Yeah, because and I'll say it like for adults who give a bunch of excuses because XYZ is happening, blah 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 blah. Like it sounds really dumb when you're talking to people who when you're talking to other adults. Not to say that I'm not empathetic, but as somebody who went through it through all of that, started this business part-time, it sounds like so much BS. And you just get tired of it. You know, at some point, you have to get tired of your own BS to do better. So just
Gotcha.
follow through.
Well, I mean that's where this nation needs more leaders, and I believe we have a lot of managers and followers, but the followers are following managers who aren't leaders, and the leaders aren't showing the way. They're just barking orders on do this, do that, do this, but they're not really leading by example. And people are they have a survival mentality. Like one thing that I've heard recently, and I've heard it like kind of like on repeat, where it says people will fight harder to avoid pain than they will fight to get their dreams and desires. Because a lot of people get stuck in this gray area called average and ordinary. The at least my bills are paid, at least I don't have I'm going, at least I'm not going through this, at least I'm not doing this, and they get comfortable, and they feel no need to push even further, because it hasn't been ingrained in them to do that. So it's a survival mentality, and then something shakes in the global economy, something shakes in the government, and then next thing you know, that them being comfortable is threatened, and then they start acting once again until they get comfortable again. And it's like start and stop all over again. And it's tough, shifting from the survival mentality, paycheck to paycheck, to the growth mentality, the believing that you deserve more, believing that you were built to win, believing that you were built to succeed in life. And yeah, it's a tough shift that has to happen. If you're watching this, whether you're watching the live or watching the recording, go ahead and let us know what city and state you're logging in from, watching from. So what we teach people is how money works, how money grows. We teach them alternative strategies outside of traditional strategies that's been shoved down their throat for the past 30, 40, 50, 100 years. Your 401ks, your IRAs, your trust savings plans, your certificate of deposits, your checking and savings, your high yield savings accounts, your college 529s. Those are all strategies that the government controls. And this anything that the government controls, they probably don't have your best intention at hand. Okay. So
Always
we
looking to have their hand in your pocket. That's for sure.
the government always has their hand. Like anytime you put your money into a qualified plan, the government is your business partner, and I promise you, they're not your friend. So I mean, think about this, babe. Imagine this. Imagine I knew you were open up to a business opportunity, and I approached you and I said, "Hey, listen, Syndee, I heard you were open to a business opportunity. I have a business proposition for you. However, you have to put up all the capital. You have to take all the risk. If the business is profitable, you have to split me 25%. If the business fails, you take all the losses. Are you ready to go into business with me?"
No way.
No, it doesn't even make sense. Well, that I just explained the 401k to you. You put money into it, so you're putting your capital into it. If the market goes up, you profit. When you go to retire, you got to pay your taxes. You got to split the government, whatever that is, 12%, 15, 22, 25, 32, whatever you're taking. If the business fails, so if the stock market drops, I take all the losses. The government doesn't take the losses. And then, since we're kicking the tax deferred can down the road, the government's going to tell me what the tax rate is when it's time for me to pay them back. What if the government comes to you, or your business partner comes to you and says, "Hey, listen, Syndee, I know it's been 30 years. I made some bad business moves. I got into some sticky situations, some wars we shouldn't be involved in, some political decisions we shouldn't have been involved in. Uh, Instead of charging you 25%, I'm now going to need 35%. And there's nothing you can do about it. My friend, every time you stick a dollar into that 401k, you enter into a business partnership with the US government.
And it's not to say that we don't believe in diversified portfolios, because we do. But what
Sure.
we're saying is diversify it smart, right? Because there are professionals who put bare minimum, or companies will put bare minimum in a 401k, but they're funding a lot of money into IULs, right? And so I think just a lot of people really need to focus on the things that are working, because clearly these retirement solutions that have been going on for decades are not working. Something's broken because we have a huge retirement crisis on our hands. And yet everybody keeps, it's like they're blindly walking off the cliff,
Yeah. Can't
refusing to.
help everybody. I just want to help. I just want to help those that want to be helped. I want to educate those that want to be educated. I will recruit those that want to be recruited, that want to make some extra money, some extra income. Because we look at the financial industry, we look at life insurance as a financial tool. We don't look at it for what it is. We focus on what it can do for us. And that's
Mhm.
just what we want to share with people. I don't want to spend too much time on here tonight, babe. I just want to hop on, share some thoughts, some ideas. I know it's Friday night. People are out partying right now. They're spending money. They're spending money, and they trade five. This is the system we live in, guys. Okay, the number one cause for death in America is heart attacks, heart disease. So think about this: we live in a world where we go to school, we get a job, we work for 40 hours per week for 40 years for 40% retirement. 66% of America is currently living paycheck to paycheck on 100% of their paycheck. What makes you feel you're going to live your best life, your golden years, on 40% of your paycheck? You're not, my friend. It's all been a setup. It's all been a lie for the government to control you, even in retirement. That's what Social Security is there for. You're dependent upon the government for your livelihood. Warren Buffett says that he or she that controls your money controls you and the decisions that you make in your life. We want to help teach you how to take back control of that financial future so you can make better choices and live your best life.
And I
So,
think it's good to learn from people who, started off where you probably were, right? Or started off where you were and did better for themselves. So it's not like we were always successful, we always knew, and so we always had money. We had to learn and we had to implement and we had to become successful for ourselves, right? We completely transformed our financial situation. We completely transformed, our lives with our kids, and they've seen the fruit from what we do, and not just in our lifestyle, but in them, in the products that they have as well. So it's really a whole transformation from experience. And, you and I are both master degreed individuals, licensed professionals, and we've been doing this for many years. So we come with a lot of background. Uh-oh, I think we lost him. We have been having some difficulty with Spectrum lately. They've got some outages, so it's kind of crazy. Hopefully we can get him back soon. Hello, hello.
All right, I'm back, guys. Hey, listen, I don't know what happened. Spectrum's been going crazy here in the DFW area, but yeah, it looked like my wife. Let's see if she's here. She's back. Okay, cool. So I don't know what happened? Spectrum's been going crazy out here in the DFW area, but um,
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, we've been having so many issues with Spectrum. It's crazy.
yeah, absolutely. And but anyway, as we were wrapping up, I just want to say, hey, guys, listen. Whenever you're out there, learn if you don't like the current situation that you're currently in, be willing to make some changes because nothing's going to change unless you first change. But I'm here to tell you, don't let your circumstances that you're facing today, whatever's taking place, change your responsibility to yourself, to your family, to become the next best version of yourself. Because there's somebody waiting in heaven. It's the doppelganger of yourself, the perfect version of who you were supposed to be in this life, and they're looking down at you right now. And I pray that whenever you get to heaven, that person's not a stranger, that they look at you and say, "Well done." And that's something I strive for every single day, is because I know that I'm chasing that next best version. I'm not there. It's it, I'm not going to talk too much about that. It gets me emotional because the things that we've experienced in life, the things that we had to overcome, the mountains that we had to overcome, the valleys that we were in, when it seemed like we were never going to get out of it, we had to keep our faith in God and know that He would never put us in a situation in which we couldn't get out of. And we had to prepare for that test, because if we're going to pray these big audacious goals and ask God to bless us in abundance so we can bless other people, we know those tests are about to come. I did a video. I think it got 20, 30 million views. And there were so many negative comments on that because they were like, oh, no, you spoke that into existence, that there's power in the tongue. I do believe there's power in the tongue, but also in the Bible, it says, plan for the best, but prepare for the worst. And that's what we do is that was a private conversation between me and my wife that I shared with everybody. We didn't speak that into existence because we know what's going to come our way, and God's going to bless us in abundance, but we will be prepared for the enemy to come and kill, steal, and destroy anything that's going to take us off of our purpose. And many of you right now who are watching this, and I'm not here to preach, but since I'm here, I might as well share some with you. But listen, the enemy says, or in the Bible, the scripture says the enemy is going to come and kill, steal, and destroy. Some of those people right now are celebrating other people's assassinations. They're celebrating other people making fun of other people, celebrating other people, hitting other people, and they're filming it and they're laughing at it. Guys, that's not the enemy, but that's the tool of the enemy. The enemy is using them as a tool. And if you laugh at anybody that's getting done in the wrong manner, if you're stealing from somebody, I don't care if you're in MLM and you're taking somebody's downline and you're moving it under your downline, you are evil, my friend. Okay, and you're being used as a tool by the enemy. You're not the enemy, but you're being used as a tool, and you need to wake the freak up. Okay, but the enemy is going to come and steal, kill, and destroy. Just be aware. Be aware, guys. But with that being said, that's all I got to say. I don't want to preach too much tonight. Um, but I believe in people, and I believe everybody was born to win and succeed. So I look forward to seeing the next version of yourself. Thanks for hopping on here with me, honey.
Thanks, babe, for inviting me.
Good stuff. And for those of you who are watching, let me know, what are some of your takeaways in the comments. Any questions that you have about anything that we talked about here today, let us know, and we'll make sure we address it in our next live. With that being said, good night. God bless everyone. The moons are out.